All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the shed. I'm so happy to be here with my buddy Josh. Today we're going to do the rig rundown and get a sneak peek, or I guess a backstage look at the equipment that he uses. And I'm really excited to do this because, as a friend, I'm also a huge fan. And a lot of the questions I'm going to ask you today are probably questions that I just genuinely want to ask you anyways.
Perfect.
So let's start with the main, driver of the music itself. The guitar. What brand is it?
This old beat up thing.
It's if you look at this guitar up close, it looks like something you would find in a thrift shop for $10. But it's actually let's tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's a '97. It's a Taylor 410. And I guess that was their 25th anniversary, and they did some special stuff that year. I'm thinking because I love this guitar. I've had it. I bought it used. Maybe I can't remember exactly, maybe in 2002 or something. It was probably 5 years old when I got it. And I just walked into a store to get a pack of strings, and somebody had just brought this in and sold it to the store. And I was like, man, I mean, it hadn't even been on the shelf, and I played, and I was like, I got to have that guitar. And so I maxed my credit card out. I think, it was maybe $900 or something, which is a lot,
It's an investment in your future.
I love it, though.
How much of that wear and tear is from you, and how much came from when it was already on the shelf?
Probably 80% of it came from me. It had a few dings on it, though, when I got it, but I just played it so much. Of course, last year playing it every single day, that was just kind of the tip of the iceberg because I've been playing this guitar ever since then. Pretty, 3 hours a day for many days a week for many years, really. And it's been my main axe. And even though I have a bunch of other guitars, and I still just come back to this one, especially for playing the streams and playing live out on stage. I love this guitar.
I feel like with musicians, there's two schools of thought. Some of them want a brand new shiny guitar every night, and they, the Who, they would smash their guitars. And then there's people like you and, say, Mike McCready that just fall in love with a certain guitar and get to know it and just can't live without it.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely the situation here. It's been all over the world with me, all over the U.S. for sure. It's been refretted 3 times. I got a great luthier here in Charlotte, and he takes good care of me. So it's had the frets because I've worn the frets down because I played it so much.
Oh yeah.
And then he added some epoxy to here because it was getting to look like Trigger. Willie Nelson's guitar, which I saw Willie the other night, actually, and that guitar has a bigger hole in it now. I mean, it's amazing. Still sounds great.
Wow.
But that's his main axe, and he was still...
Willie's the man.
He was hitting it pretty hard, too, at moments. But
been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
So what kind of strings you got on that bad boy?
Yep, I like medium Diodarios. That's just what what I've always been playing. They're I don't know. I play kind of hard. I use... these Dunlop picks that are pretty thick. We were just talking about it.
Yeah, this is thicker than I thought.
And I go through a lot of these. So.
And that's Dunlop brand.
Yep, I like those. I like the medium gauge strings, and that keeps me rolling. And that's the main thing. And at the end of the day, if I'm without all this stuff, without these mics, this pedal, and all these gadgets and everything, there's still just an acoustic guitar,
Right, and
if I'm sitting around, it sounds like that,
It sounds amazing. I love the sound of that guitar, and
that's what I love. I just, I love being able to have an instrument that you can play around the campfire and play with other acoustic instruments. I mean, nothing better than having the fiddle and the upright bass
and
making noise without mics and stuff.
And that's something that you can't do with an electric. You just simply can't do it.
Right.
It's just doesn't
But
work.
on the same kind of opposite actually thing is that I do make this sound like an electric guitar.
And that pedal, which we'll get to in a minute, is one of my favorite ones that you use, because I feel like the initial impression some people might get when they see you with the acoustic is, this is kind of going to be kind of folksy, and then all of a sudden here we go with some Nirvana and Pearl Jam and some like killer rock solos, which is one of my favorite things because you play such a wide spectrum on your stream, and so that is one of my favorite things, is that electric pedal.
Yeah, it's fun, and I hadn't always done that until really the shutdown, and I was just started really kind of geeking out on my pedal setup, my sound, and just exploring new sounds, which is really fun. I got pretty inspired by Larry Kill, seeing him using a distortion pedal on acoustic, which I'd never done before, and I thought it was a little bit sacrilegious in a way. But then I saw him do it, and I was like, man, I love it. So I started doing that, during the quarantine, and now I freaking love it.
And so I know you're very particular about some of your equipment because you pretty much run all of your own sound. You don't have a sound guy per se. You have some people that help you out. But so I've seen you play like through a rainstorm. I've almost never seen you have major technical issues. What kind of cord are you using
This
here?
is I love this. This is a cable made by the Rattlesnake cable company. They're really good quality, and I've had a few of these. I lost one, and I immediately the next day bought another one because they're really high quality, and I think cables do matter, and I try to use the best that I can, and those guys are really really great. So I love this one. It's long and it's coated, and it's just a great cable. I think it looks cool. It's green.
Yeah. I got nervous during that downpour that you played through at that
right,
private party.
right.
That was a little nerve wracking.
Remember, those guys were all holding umbrellas and getting tarps and keeping it. We kept the show going though.
It stopped for maybe 5 minutes, but that was a torrential downpour. Now, I'm a huge fan of the guitar. I like to watch people play guitar, but I think your singing is great on the stream. People love your voice. What kind of microphones were you using here to help project your voice?
Well, I've been on this, and I don't have the reverb on it right now because we're talking, and usually typically don't use reverb, but I'm using the Shure Beta 58, which I don't know. I've been using it for the past 5 years or so. I love it. I like it a little more than the regular 58, and when I go to a club and they have a different mic, I usually end up using this one. You're using not a very expensive mic, an extra mic, but
that's okay because my natural voice. So that mic looks a little beat up. Is that something that's kind of? It looks just a little older, a little beat up.
It's definitely been around.
Is that something that's kind of special to you, kind of like your guitar?
I guess it is now that I've just sang into it for so long. It's kind of anything that you keep around that long starts to get a little sentimental. Yeah, so I love this mic, and it still sounds great and still works. That's one of the things about Shure mics that they're kind of known for is like they can get beat up and they still work. They're like a really strong built mic.
Yeah, I don't know much about mics, but the one of the things I know is that Shure mics are the best.
Yeah, definitely.
So I want to get into your pedal board, and I want to get into your looper especially because when you played at my house, this was a testament to your board and when you're playing. My neighbor was there, and he said to me, he came up and said, "Oh, so he has backing tracks that are preloaded or something?" And I said, "No, there's no backing track here, man. Like this is what you're hearing is what he just played 15 seconds ago, looped." And that's why, and then he loops on top of that, and that's why at some points I'm just blown away on stream. If I'm just listening to it, it sounds like a full band is playing. And then I look, and it's just you, and it's all stuff that you've created right there on the spot. So first, let's talk about the looper pedal, because I know that's the main driver.
Sure. And there's a lot of different loopers out there, some that are more expensive and some that are smaller and do different things. But I've kind of stuck with the one that I kind of started with. Now, this is actually a more kind of souped-up version because it is the stereo looper, but it's the DigiTech JamMan, and I'm so bummed they're not making them anymore. So, I've gone through quite a few. I've gone through 4 or 5 of them over the past, 10 or 12 years. But I guess it's just the familiarity of it is just is what I like, and it's just functional for what I do. I mean, I don't do a lot of vocal loops and stuff, although you can do this with this pedal. But for what I do, what I like about it is you can erase loops, you can start them, and if you add a layer and you don't like it, you can take it out. And it's in stereo, and that's I want to loop the signal. I want to loop the stereo part of it before it goes out of the looper. So it's nice to have that, and I love stereo, and I can kind of show you guys a little example of why I love playing in stereo so much. It's just that the guitar, just like right there, it just sounds so full, and that's due to reverb.
Give us an example without the stereo real quick,
Sure.
And then with it.
So I usually leave both of these pedals on. Those are both stereo pedals. That's just kind of raw guitar right there. But I love reverb. I gotta have.
Oh yeah.
And then I do this thing with this other reverb pedal where it's just a little bit of a slap on there, which I really like.
Yeah, Now, that's something I think the novice wouldn't notice without hearing both sides of it.
Yeah.
You know, they just think that you just plug in and that's all it is. So what are the brands on those?
Okay, those are TC Electronics. That's the Flashback is the one I use for the slap, and then the Arena is the reverb. And I just use the Hall reverb on there. But sometimes when I'm getting, kind of crazy, I go down there and kind of twist knobs and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll show you guys some of that later. But so here's what the DigiTech JamMan, it's all about being on the one. I mean, just making loops is all about being on the one. So what it's pretty simple, and it's got this is the record button here. You just kind of, so I kind of get the groove going a little bit, and then I want to start it right there. 3. That's a short loop.
Now you got your rhythm.
But it's on, and then I add a little bass right there.
So what pedal was that you just clicked up for that bass? That's my
Okay,
that's
so
my
that's
favorite.
that's kind of a. I was thinking about jamming and not talking here.
No, that's okay, just jam.
So I can bring it out if I want. Bring the bass out like that. Back to my. So that's just a quick example there, and then you click it up to erase it. So so the bass really changed my whole kind of sound over quarantine, and I got this a little bit before then. I've been using some octaves for bass, but Electro Harmonics came out with this bass pedal that I just really think it sounds really good, like an actual bass.
I have to say, earlier I said that the electric pedal was my favorite. This one is actually my favorite, especially watching you live when you got your speakers cranking.
Yeah.
You can feel that bass if,
Yeah.
if you're there, and the bass line just adds so much to the complexity of the song. It sounds great.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I've had to, because of flight, not having enough room for a big pedal board, and you don't want to fly with it, I've been just flying with 3 pedals. And when I have to just pick 3, I pick the reverb, the looper, and the bass pedal. that's my main tools.
Now that little guy up in the left hand corner, I recognize that as the Boss tuner.
Yes.
That's pretty standard, yeah.
Yeah, that's just a good tuner. I've got it wired. The way I've got it wired is it's just always on. It doesn't do anything if I click on or off to the signal. And I just because I kill my signal with a volume pedal if I want to kill it. But I want to be able to tune. I mean, sometimes I'm in the middle of a song and I'll hear that it's out of tune. I look down and I can do a tune in the middle of a tune.
Okay.
I can tune in the tune. So those are, I love reverb on the guitar. I do. Some people don't like it, and for certain situations you don't want to have it on there. But for me, and just being, especially when I'm playing solo, I love the reverb.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
And I can show you another cool thing that I do sometimes to just add separation and fatten it up is there's actually on this Flashback pedal there's a setting, and I have to bend down to do it, but set it to ping, and it's really cool.
Let's see.
So you hear how it's like real stereo, and that's how it's coming through on the phone and on YouTube. And people get home and they have their speakers and their home stereo. It'll be bouncing around like that.
And it's incredible how far the technology has come to kind of blend all that so we can all hear it the same way at home.
And live in real time, just like right now.
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of times I'll just come out here, I'll start doing something like that and just have fun for the next hour and a half.
3.5 hours go by, yeah.
So I got 2 loops going right there. I've got the bass line going right there, and I've got kind of a rhythm track. They both sound different. So it sounds... But then I could add something crazy,
Like that 3-click, what you just did there in the middle of the song playing, like I don't think people understand how difficult that is while you're playing and singing and just do that what you just did. That always blows my mind. And sometimes you get more on like 6 or 7 clicks.
Yeah.
No way.
So I like that. That's an organ pedal there. I love this thing.
That's the MXR?
That is Electro-Harmonix C9. And I have it. Turn this down a little bit, which I do with my toe a lot, or my shoe.
It's incredible.
So I like this organ pedal. Just, you can't use it on every song, but. And I kind of use this delay here in conjunction with it. So if I want it to, and I use this. I gotta have the volume pedal. I've gotta have it after that too. I've tested it out, and for this, you see how I can bring it in and out.
Now, does that double as a wah-wah as well?
It doesn't. They make some that do.
Yeah, I've seen those.
So I'll click that delay on, and it kind of gets that sustaining organ sound as good as you can,
So then you have a drummer, a bass player, a guitarist, and an organ player, and a singer.
All in my feet.
All in your band, yeah. All in your band. Band of one.
Bring the loop up a little bit, maybe, And then maybe I want to have some strings, and that's what this is like a Micro-Tron pedal, but it does different things.
Oh, yeah. You can see why my neighbor would be confused.
So I use that, once in a while. And then, of course, I love the Micro-Tron, which is the kind of that's kind of the classic Jerry tone that we all love.
Very familiar.
And I use delay a lot. I love delay, and that's just the old, the classic Boss delay there.
What's the difference between your two Micro-Tron pedals?
So that's the Jerry there. And that's made by MUFX, and I believe it's the guy who made the original ones, made these too. Okay. It's really close. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I mostly use that setting, but there is kind of a Stevie Wonder thing. But that's kind of the Jerry. Anyway, so made by the same company, MUFX, is the Octave. Octavider is what they call it. So it's... So it's fun.
I don't even think, even as a fan and a friend of yours, I don't even think some of these subtle differences when I'm watching you live. I notice that it sounds great, but I'm so happy to be able to see how it sounds great. When you go into the Jerry, the Jerry mode and things like that.
Yeah.
It's just so unbelievably complicated while you're playing. It's still.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know how complicated it is, but I know I'm not anywhere near that. So, those are just all tools, to get. Let's go back into that loop. Now, if I want to get into more rocking and I want to do the distortion like I was talking about, I click on the Overdrive, and that's the MXR Overdrive. I've had it for a few years. Click that on. I like to have delay on too, and I like to. Combo with one of those. Jerry in there on the. So that's the basic. That's the pedal board that you're hearing most of the time when you're hearing me, and when I'm out on the road, that's what I'm using.
Now, can we real quick talk about this? You have a secondary pedal board over here.
So when I'm in the shed, I've got kind of things kind of set up, and I use a couple extra things because I don't have to haul them around with me. So I've kind of added
toys in the shed.
So I've added yet another pedal board just recently, and it's just kind of got some extra pedals on there that I had that I wasn't really using. And my thought was, well, we could have this pedal board going, and of course it's in stereo, and then on a completely different line. So coming out of the tuner here, it's only getting the clean signal. It's going into another volume pedal and another channel, which is also in stereo. Just a way different sound. And it's also, I've just got another one of these kind of synth pedals over here.
Nice. Oh.
It's just more things to play with, but so I could be playing. It's kind of like having two different rigs going, honestly. But I could do them both at the same time and bring them in and out, just depending on the volume pedals. So I got two volume pedals. So that's just this pedal board, and then here's just the other one. So yeah, it's just fun. More things for me to have fun with. Over on this pedal board, just real quick, I'll show you the pedals on there. If you want to check it out real quick. So another volume pedal, that's a Synth 9 made by Electro Harmonics, same kind of thing. This is an Echo. It kind of does some kind of cool things. I got that actually from Jay Massis from Dinosaur Jr. He's
Oh, wow.
yeah, I got a little plaque that says it belonged to Dinosaur Jr.
Insane.
He sold a bunch of stuff on Reverb recently, and I got that. This is cool. I love this Boss Tremolo, and I got the Robert Keeley mod, so I sent it to Robert Keeley, and he put a booster on it. I love this pedal, but I didn't have room on the other pedal board. And then this is just a crazy, I don't know, just some crazy reverb.
Whoa!
It's really crazy. I haven't really figured it out. Yeah,
Maybe some Pink Floyd stuff. Like
yeah, totally, kind of. And then this thing right here is it's called a double tracker. It's kind of another stereo kind of thing. So that's just extra toys to play with. Not that important. This is the main pedal board.
Let me put you on the spot here real quick. Let's say you have to buy a new pedal, but which brand would you go with? Do you have a favorite brand that is your go-to pedal brand, or are you happy? You have several different brands going on here, probably 5, 6 different brands, including Dinosaur Jr. custom model.
I guess those Electro Harmonics, I've got 4 or 5 of those on there, and those are really cool for the synth stuff and the bass. So I like those guys a lot, and I just kind of stumbled upon them, and I don't have I'd have no endorsement deals right now or anything. I'm just showing you guys what I'm using.
Hint, hint,
hint, hint. Yes. But I definitely like the Electro Harmonics, and I like the TC electronic stuff too as well. Those seem pretty well built. I mean, I don't think I'm not one of those snobs. I don't think. I think anything, if it sounds good, I'll throw it on there.
Can I make a request for an upcoming stream that you have a permanent pedal camera?
Cam.
Yes,
Does everybody? Do you guys like that?
I want to see a pedal cam.
Okay,
I do. I would like that.
I was doing that for a while there. That was fun.
Yeah, I think you should bring that back.
It's cool. It's a kind of a cool look. So yeah, those are the main toys that I like to play with.
Now, what toys you got over here on your left?
Okay, so let's see. Okay, just extra things here. So, let's see. Okay, next up, let's see. Well, these are just the old-fashioned chimes that I had laying around. I don't know, and I one day brought them out because I thought it would kind of tie the transition,
tie the song together. That's what we said.
So I've just got that mic'd up with another Shure 57 there, And
now, when you go through with your guitar, do you ever worry about the tuning, messing up the tuning, or is it that light that it doesn't? And the Taylor's
well,
so
usually
tough?
I have a whatchamajig,
a capo.
a capo,
Yeah.
and then I had this little felt piece on the
Nice.
capo that
I didn't even notice that when you would do that
trying
live.
to, yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, it's probably not the best idea to take your actual guitar and do that.
Right. That's what.
Although this guitar is it's not the best example of the best kept guitar either.
Best sounding though.
But for what I feel like it's just like, for me, it's my match, and for what I do, especially solo, So I was watching a rig rundown, actually, I don't know, a couple years ago, with Nels Klein from Wilco, and he had this. It's from the early 2000s Korg Kaoss pad, and it's
wild.
It's kind of a DJ tool, actually. It's like for people that do turntables, but he had special cables made, which I got as well. And you can run your guitar, your vocal through it, which is really fun. And it's got a really cool, it's got some really cool delays on here, and it's fun to be able to just to mess with the timing on them if you're trying to get spacey. So I can kind of show you guys. You hear that? So I can be singing, do some, but it also has.
That instantly reminds me of some Pink Floyd.
It also has my guitar going through it.
Kind of like the wall sounding stuff.
Yeah. It's got that's the tape. And what Nels said, and I agree with him, is that this is closest to like an analog tape delay from back in the day that you could get. Even though all these technologies come far since this was made, for whatever reason, this was a really cool. This is a really cool one, and so I got it, and I use it sometimes in the jams and stuff like that. Let's see here, but it's also got some other cool little like. So
you need to get Lefty on the DJ, and he can, that's hard to do, play and do that at the same time.
So I just had, I have this little table here that's meant for like a percussion thing, and I've got it on my mic stand, and so I have, toys. I got this little tack piano that I just fool with sometimes. I don't know. It's all just, it keeps me entertained. Hopefully it keeps you guys entertained out there.
Can I have one more request?
Yeah.
So, by the way, if you're just joining us, this is the Rig Rundown with Josh Daniel, Aaron Kollar. We're here in the shed going through his equipment. Josh did an amazing thing this past year, streaming for 365 straight days. He still streams all the time for free. And the way that he does this with all of this equipment, making himself sound like a full band, is just incredible. So we're doing the Rig Rundown today. We're going through all his equipment. What I would love to see is, and I don't know if you have time for this, is one of my favorite songs is, well, you probably already know what it is. Jerry, Ruben, and Therese. Yeah. I love that song for a lot of reasons. No disrespect to Jerry. I think that your version is actually better than Jerry's version, and I think it showcases your pedals, a lot of different ones. Yeah. So I don't know. Do you have time to play it real quick and kind of tie it all together, so to speak?
Let's just. I'll show you the part I loop, which is really fun, and it's the jam at the beginning and
you don't have to.
And it comes in and out. So I kind of get going first for a minute. Mm-hmm. Get it feeling good.
I get excited when I hear this at the show because it's one of my favorites.
So we're coming back around. And then maybe add just a little something on top of that, Then I like to do the bass. So I click the bass on, click record. And try to think like a bass player. So get a little bit of a bass line going. So there we go. There's the bass. I click it off. Now I want to change my tone a little bit. Just to differentiate it. Maybe we'll put a Jerry on and then play the lead lick, which is... that for a while, you know. Sometimes I'll loop it. I just say, like, you know. All right, so I got that lick going now. Start thinking a little bit about how Jerry had the organ. You know, he had Merle Saunders in there, and he had Melvin Sills. Sometimes I'll just do a rhythm organ, or I'll do the lick, because I like the lick a lot.
I love that lick.
Maybe I'm done with the organ, I'm just going back to... And then I want to take the lick out because I just want to improv. So I click that, hold it down. Yeah, that's a fun one there. I love doing that one.
Tie it together at the end.
And then erase it. There you go. And then the next loop is the next loop. And the next day it's different slightly.
The other thing I like about your looper is it's nice and big. You got 4 big pedals. I have a slightly smaller model that I really like. It's a Dunlop. And it's a triple looper, and but it just has one button for everything. So you've got to get really good at like triple clicks and double clicks, and it gets really difficult, especially for me who's not good at the guitar. So it's hard for me to do 2 things at once.
Yeah, I think, you know, that's one of the things I like about it is it's got, you know, separate stop and records, and then you can change the channel up and down with those 2. Although, I mean, I don't really do that too much other than just to erase it. But a lot of people will, you know, they play to loops or they play to, you know, things that are pre-recorded. So it's a really cool tool for that too. I've never used it for that, but you could use it for that. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, and that's what it's all about is just having fun. And for me, playing all the time by myself, I just wanted a way to make it sound big and have fun, be able to improv over, you know, if I don't have someone else playing with me. It's kind of like playing with a band.
Yeah,
and which makes it more fun.
Almost sounds like you're in an arena and you're just here in the shed.
Just back here in the old shed here.
So one of the things that I'm most impressed with throughout your journey of streaming through this past year and more now is the quality of the video of your stream. Yeah. You know, that very first day it was just one camera, you know, just one look, and then from the evolution now to having multiple effects, digital effects. Walk us through some of your, you know, your interface, your video.
Sure. Okay, let's see here. I'll grab this, and I'll kind of show you from my perspective. And we've got Hannah here as well. She's helping. And so this is kind of what I'm looking at in front of me here. This is kind of the space station here, and as you can see, we've got a lot of stuff here. In the shed, I use a QSC Touch Mix. I love this thing. It's great. It's really small, and it does a lot of cool things. So I've got everything going into that board, and then I'll tell you, I love this little unit right here, and this is made by a company called CEntrance. This is what takes the audio and turns it directly into your phone or iPad. Today we're using the iPad as the controller, but quite often I use my iPhone 11, especially when I'm out at an actual gig. This thing is amazing. As you can see, it's got 2 mic preamps in it. The preamps sound really good in it. And it's also got a 1/8" stereo signal. So when I'm playing live solo, I'm not even using a soundboard. I'm just using this. And then the headphone jack goes out to the speakers, and they're powered. So it's definitely one of those things that has saved me a lot of room and and saved me a lot of time of setting up things. And this unit is amazing. I love it. I use it all the time.
Your setup is really, really good. How much like trial and error is involved in getting the setup just right? Because I know it's very difficult just to plug in and go into an amp. Sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah.
Just that alone. How long does it take you to experiment to get the sound right?
It's taken my whole... I mean, I feel like I don't have it right yet. I'm still tweaking it. I'm still figuring it out on a daily basis. But, shoot, I don't know. It took me a good number of years. And I feel like I've kind of got it at a good point right now, especially the main pedal board. And that's my main tool. This other stuff is kind of extra, you know, but it's... I didn't even mean to do that, but that was perfect. This is kind of extra stuff, but I want to show it because people do have questions about it. And, you know, like I said, the CEntrance unit over here, killer. I love this thing. It's a couple $100. I bought an extra one because I never wanted to be without it. It's awesome. And it runs on a battery or a little USB, but it has a battery in it. So you could take that and not even have it plugged in. It's awesome. Some of the other things, I mean, today I'm using a light up here. And then our video software, and let's see if I can here. If you want to show that, it's from a company called Switcher. So everything goes into here, and then you're able to change that camera angles and add little graphics and things like that. So, and that's a subscription thing that I use,
and it's pretty reasonable.
I think it's $30-$40 a month or something.
Yeah,
allows you to use up to 8 cameras. It's really fun. You guys see all the transitions and then some of the graphics I put on, and that's how I do that. So that goes into Switcher, and then Switcher goes to another thing called Restream, which allows me to throw this out to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, my website, all at the same time, and that's another subscription service that I use to broadcast. And, you know, I was just figuring these things out as we went along. I did not have them the entire time I went. I did the 365 days, but after a month or two, I kind of got it dialed in and figured out, and now I love all those services. And
I think that's something that a lot of people don't understand, because most of your viewers are on Facebook, and that's kind of where it started. But a lot of people, you know, some of my friends are like, well, I don't have Facebook, I can't watch. Well, he's on every platform now, Instagram, Twitter.
And YouTube is YouTube is really the
more
best.
And more, yeah.
It's really the best quality because it's more made.
I agree.
It's made for folks like that to broadcast. And we've got a good channel over there. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube. There's things that happen over there that don't happen on Facebook. And say again. Oh, the name. What is the name on there? Josh Daniel. Oh, gosh, I think it's just Josh Daniel now. We'll put a link in there, though.
JoshDanielMusic.com has all the information.
It has all the links.
JoshDanielMusic.com, JoshDanielMusic.com.
That's right. So, yeah, just navigating during the pandemic is how I found a lot of these things, and trial and error. And there's a few pedals that aren't on either of these boards that I just didn't dig, and so I don't use them. But, you know, it's been a journey, and we're still learning, and things are getting better and better. But I love having the good sound. That's, you know, that is my main.
I know, and I know you personally, and I know that you are finicky about the sound, which is you have to be. If you are a good musician, the sound is everything. If you're going to play without good sound, then you're not playing to your potential, really.
Yeah.
And I have to say, your sound has always been good, but over the past year, you know, as you tweaked it, added more pedals, more effects, it's just become beyond incredible. So I want to thank you personally for giving us all this free music all year.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know a lot of us were struggling, and it was a rough year, and you just brought that joy every single day.
Thank you.
Never stopped.
Well, it helped me too, and it kept me working and gave me something to do every single day, and it was a goal that I wanted to hit, and I was super happy that we were able to do 365 in a row. I'll never do that again, but I will.
You're still playing.
I'm still playing 5 days a week,
yeah,
and
right.
I love it, and I love every minute of it. It's what I love to do, and we'll be I'll be back here on Sunday at 7 p.m. in the shed playing with all the toys and playing a shed session show.
Very
which
cool.
is really fun.
So do you want to just play us out with a little
Make something
improv
up.
jam? Yeah, I might step aside and just let you have the stage and do your thing.
I don't know. I come out here and I just fool around and maybe sometimes I just do the first thing that comes to my head. I don't know. It's just like, just pick a just random key. Yeah, all right. How fun. Thanks for joining us, guys. Let's see. Yeah, Digging in the Dirt's one of my favorite ones to loop. It's really fun. Let's do that one. Something in me, dark and sticky. All the time it's getting stronger. Way of dealing with this feeling. I can't go on like this much longer, no. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. I told you, I told you, I told you. Don't talk back. Drive the car. Shut your mouth. I know what you are. Don't say nothing. Your hands on the wheel, don't turn around. This is for real. Digging in the dirt. Stay with me, I need some more. I'm digging in the dirt to find the places I got hurt. Open up the places I got hurt. Oh, I got it. The more I look, the more I find. As I close on in, I get so blind. I can feel it in my head, I can feel it in my toes. Feel it in my sex. That's the place it grows. No, this time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. This time you've gone too far. I told you, I told you, I told you. Don't talk back. Drive the car, shut your mouth. I know what you are. Don't say nothing. Keep your heads on the wheel. Don't turn around. This is for real. Digging in the dirt, find the places I got hurt. To open up the places I got hurt. I'm digging in the dirt. Stay with me, I need some more. I'm digging in the dirt. Find the places I got hurt. Open up the places I got hurt.
Digging at the dirt, find the places I got hurt. Digging in the dirt, find the places I got hurt. Digging in the dirt, digging in the dirt, digging in the dirt, digging in the dirt. Digging in the dirt, find the places I got hurt. Digging in the dirt, find the places I got hurt.
Thank you, folks. Appreciate y'all being here. Big thanks to Aaron and Hannah for helping out this afternoon. Hope you enjoyed the rig rundown. And I just thank you from the bottom of my heart for